Hello everyone, hope you guys are doing well. This is James from Crochet, welcome to my channel. Today's video is going to be a tutorial for this simple mesh bag. This bag is perfect for shopping because it balls up to quite a small size but can carry quite a lot in it. This project is also a very good stash buster, and I'm definitely going to make a lot of these bags for Christmas presents as Christmas is coming up, and I think this is a really nice present that doesn't take too long to make. For this bag you'll need around 70 grams of acrylic yarn and a 4mm hook, and optionally you can also use a 5mm hook. This is not essential though. Before we start this video, make sure that you're subscribed and you like and comment on this video if you enjoyed it. We'll just go ahead and get straight into the video. We're going to start off by making the strap for the bag, which is going to use a Tunisian stitch, which I'll go through quickly. So we're going to start off by chaining a total of 6, then skipping the stitch closest to the hook. We're going to insert our hook into any point in the chain loop and pull up a loop, and we're going to do this for the next 4 stitches. So you should be pulling up a total of 5 loops. So at this point, once you've pulled up all of your loops, you should have a total of 6 loops on your hook. Now to end this row, we're going to yarn over, pull through 1, and then continue by yarning over and pulling through 2. You should be pulling through and getting rid of 2 stitches 5 times before you're then left with 1. And as you can see, this creates these vertical loops, and this is what we're going to be working into. So inserting my hook into that vertical loop, I'm going to do the same thing of yarning over and pulling up a loop before doing it in the next one, and there should be 5 of these vertical loops, and you should be pulling up through all 5. And you'll see here that there is this final one in the end. That one's sometimes a little bit hard to see. At this point, I just check that you still have 6 loops on your hook before we then yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 5 times. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5. So I've done 2 rows, and for this whole bag strap length we want to do this a total of 50 times. Obviously if you want to change the length of this strap, that's more than welcome. That's not going to affect the pattern later on. If you've never tried out this bag strap before, I would definitely highly recommend it. It's very good as it's not that stretchy, which makes it perfect for bag handles. Now to cast off, we're going to pull up a loop in the same point, but this time we're going to complete a single crochet. So you should be doing this a total of 5 times. If you have never done any form of Tunisian crochet before, I would definitely make sure that you're not doing this strap in a dark colour, because it's kind of hard to see what loops you need to insert into, and it does look a little bit different to normal crochet. At this point we're done with the strap, and I want us to go and change to a 5mm hook, or carry on using that 4mm hook just with a really loose tension, and we're going to go ahead and chain a total of 25. Obviously if you would like to make a bigger version of this bag, you could go ahead and chain more. Maybe 35 would be a good number, but for me 25 is a perfect size for a nice market bag. And once you've completed that, you're going to go ahead and use your 4mm hook to do 5 single crochets into the other side of the strap. So I just do my 5 single crochets round the 2 loops that I didn't enter whilst I was working into those first 5 chains that I did right at the start of this project. At this point you'll also want to double check that your strap is tracking straight and that you haven't twisted it or anything. And from this point we're going to switch back to our looser tension or our 5mm hook, chain 25, and slip stitch into the first single crochet that we did whilst we were casting off the strap. Now we're ready to start building up the body of our bag, so we're going to chain 2 and turn our work, and our first double crochet is going to go into the last chain that we did. So skip the 2 chains that we did as well as the slip stitch and insert your hook. Personally I go through the front and back loop, so the back bump is behind my hook before I then do a double crochet. If this is a little bit tricky for you, you could just go into the front or back loop, but this is totally up to personal preference. For me with this bag, it just kind of feels more sturdy when I do this. And with our double crochets, we're going to put one into each stitch, so that's one in each chain as well as one in each single crochet. So for this row we want to be doing a total of 59 double crochets, and once we've reached the start of our row we should have that chain 2, so we're going to slip stitch into the second chain in that turning chain, and this is going to act as a double crochet, so we effectively have 60 stitches. Please note in this pattern our turning chains do count as stitches. For these next 2 rows we're kind of just crocheting the top, so there's not going to be any increases yet. So for this next row we're going to chain 3, and instead of doing a double crochet into each stitch, I'm going to skip a stitch, do a double crochet into the next stitch and then chain 1 before then skipping another stitch and doing a double crochet. So basically we're just replacing every second double crochet with a chain, and for me my chains tend to run quite tight, so I'm very mindful here to keep them nice and loose, because for this row once we've double crochet chain 1 we're gonna slip stitch into the second chain that I made right at the start for my turning chain. And once we've done this we're just going to go ahead and do the same thing that we did in the row before, where we do a chain 2 and 59 double crochets. To do this we'll chain 2, turn our work and work our first double crochet into the nearest chain stitch, before then doing a double crochet into the double crochet in the row below. This is why we kept our chain stitches nice and loose, just to make sure that this part of the bag isn't tighter than the rest of the top of the bag. After doing those 59 double crochets we're going to slip stitch into the second chain in the turning chain. At this point I just double check you're happy with the width of the bag, and now we're going to basically double the stitch count. And just for this next portion of the video, remember that each double or triple crochet is going to go into a triple or double crochet. We're just going to be adding chains, so we're going to chain 3, do a double crochet, do a double crochet and then chain 1. We're not skipping a stitch into the next double crochet, we're going to do a double crochet, then another double crochet and a chain 1. So as I say, we want to make sure that we're putting one double crochet into each double crochet. We're just going to be adding a chain into every second double crochet. With this pattern your final stitch should be a chain and then your final double crochet. And to mirror the clusters of 2, what we're going to do is slip stitch into the second chain in our turning chain. Again, for this next row, make sure that you remember that each double crochet should go into a double crochet. We're just going to be increasing the amount of stitches by adding chains. So we'll chain 3, turn our work, and then our pattern is just going to be going into each double crochet with a double crochet and then chaining 1. So you can see here I'm doing a double crochet, chaining 1, and then a double crochet and then chaining 1. And remember, we're working each double crochet into a double crochet, not into each stitch. So just work your double crochet chain 1s into your double crochets, and this should have taken your stitch count from 60 to 120. You will then finish with a chain before you then slip stitch into the second chain in the turning chain of 3. And now we're just going to build up the body of our bag. So now we're finished with our increases, we're just going to go ahead and repeat a 3-row repeat of chaining 4. Then we're going to skip a stitch, do a triple crochet, chain 1, skip 1, triple crochet. And again, make sure that each one of your triple or double crochets is going into a triple or double crochet. And once you've gone into your final stitch, you'll triple crochet chain 1 and slip stitch into the third chain you made in the turning chain. And this should kind of be the same length as your triple crochet. So this will be the first row in your 3-row repeat. The next 2 rows is just going to be a chain 3, skip 1, and then double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. And we'll just work that all the way around our bag. And once you've worked your way around the circumference of the body of the bag, we're going to go ahead, make sure you're ending with a chain, and then slip stitch into the second chain you made in your turning chain to mirror the length of a double crochet. We will then chain 3 and repeat the whole thing again of skipping a stitch, doing our double crochet, before we then chain 1, skip 1, double crochet, chain 1, skip 1. And basically you want to repeat this pattern a total of 6 times, so there should be 18 rows where you're not increasing the amount of stitches you have from the row below. And what happened with me is I was planning to do all of this bag in this pink colour, but I did eventually run out. But this isn't a problem. I actually think these bags kind of two-tone do look really cute, so I just entered my hook in the stitch that I slip stitched in the last row, and then pulled through a slip knot before I then continued with my pattern. Obviously, if you want to make this bag a little bit bigger, you could end up adding a few more pattern repeats, but I ended at 6. And how I count this is literally just how many rows of triple crochets I have. So you can see there I've got 6 rows, and now I'm ready to start decreasing. So again, for these rows, make sure all of your double crochets go into your double crochets. We're going to start with chaining 3 and doing our double crochets. And we're going to get rid of this chain in between these 2 double crochets by double crocheting straight away. Chain 1, double crochet, and then chain 1. So effectively we're going to be doing a double crochet into each double crochet, but getting rid of every chain stitch, every second chain stitch, if that makes sense. So we're taking our stitch count down from 120 to 90. Our final stitch should just be a plain double crochet, and before we chain 1 we'll slip stitch into the second chain we made for our turning chain. We'll then chain 2, and we're going to be doing a double crochet into each double crochet. So we'll be getting rid of all the other chains in this row. So you should be doing a total of 59 double crochets, and obviously that's not including the turning chain of a chain 2. And once you've worked your way around all 59 of those double crochets, you want to go ahead and slip stitch into the second chain you made for that turning chain. And our final row of double crochets is just going to be a chain 2, and what we'll be doing is skipping a stitch and doing a double crochet. So we'll be halving the amount of stitches in this final row. So you can see here I've chained 2, turn my work, done a double crochet, and I'm skipping a double crochet and working 1 into every second double crochet. So at this point we should be taking our stitch count down from a total of 60 to 30 before then slip stitching into the second chain. For our final row, I'm going to insert my hook into the turning chain, and there's going to be a stitch to the right of our hook that we're going to skip, and into that next stitch, that's where I'm going to enter my hook and start my row of single crochets to crochet the bag together. Now obviously I've left out that 1 double crochet on that side, so I should be doing a total of 14 single crochets going through both sides to attach the bottom. And after you've done those 14 single crochets, you want to cut your yarn and pull that through to finish off your work. If you don't really want to do this, you could just go ahead and sew the bottom of your bag. Either way, our final step is going to be to create the drawstring. I don't think I counted exactly, but I'm pretty sure that I did 120 chains. But obviously you just need it big enough to wrap around your bag and for you to knot it. For a stylistic choice, I just like it being a little bit longer. And then finally, our last step is going to be to weave in this chain length into the mesh stitch at the top of our bag. So you can see I'm kind of using my hook to pull this through in and out every, I call these mesh boxes. I don't know if there actually is an official name, but I don't think there is. But you can see here, I count 4 and weave my hook through and pull it through like that just to make my job a little bit quicker. But basically you just want to weave this cord in like so, and that's going to be your bag done. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. As I said earlier, this is going to be something I make quite a lot for Christmas presents, just because this probably took me around 3-4 hours to make, and I definitely think it's quite a useful product to have. As I said earlier, I will leave all of my social media links down below. If you end up creating this bag, please tag me. I would love to see your guys' creations. You guys have a good rest of your day, and I will see you later. Bye.